Yo guys, hello and welcome to part 4 of my F1 2022 MyTeam career mode here. Back for the Imola sprint weekend, and it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while since last race. I had quite a lot of stuff going on, meaning I couldn't really upload. But yeah, looking forward to getting some more content back, guys, and here we are for the first sprint weekend of the year. Currently sat 4th in the driver standings, joint 2nd in the constructors, so it's been a good season so far. And yeah, coming into Imola, track I'm pretty strong at, so hopefully we can perform. Moving into practice now. I don't normally film it, but I felt it was important to film it. I don't know. I only filmed a little bit of practice and straight into qualifying. Now qualifying was straight after practice 1 because it's a sprint weekend, so you have practice 1 then qualifying. So here we are now for our first lap of qualifying. Flying down the back straight now, reaching 202 miles an hour, braking hard into turn 1, 5th gear. Do we get it clean around there? Yes we do. Coming down this back straight now, coming into this tricky chicane, 7th gear, 6th gear, get it rotated in, 5th gear. As we come past the first sector, and it's only a tenth quicker than Albon, so it's not been a great lap here, and we've missed a lot of corners really. Coming into this corner now, 6th gear, using all the track on the exit, really maximising it. Coming into this double right-hander now, really tricky corner to get the nose in. Short shift to 5th, get it good. Coming into the chicane now, and we have 3.5 tenths up on Albon, so it's looking like a decent lap. As we go wide and we completely extend the chicane, so not ideal. But coming into the penultimate corner now, braking hard, using the curb on the entry, all the curb throughout the corner, nice and early on the corner, using all the exit, coming up to the line. Where's this going to pass? And we go P12, so not ideal first run really, but I think we've got time to go out again. As you can see, our teammate P3, so that is where we really need to be. This season he's outperformed us in qualifying, to be honest. Not a strong point for me qualifying. Skipping now, so 2 minutes to go as we look to go out again. Park firmly on, meaning I can't change a lot to the setup, which is a bit unfortunate, but I thought we had a good setup around here. It's just hard to nail a lap, I found. But if we can stick it maybe top 5, I'd be happy with that. Just really depends. Coming out the pit lane now with 1 minute and 48 to go, so we've definitely got time to set another lap now. Quite a few cars around us. Coming onto our lap now, and we haven't got great positioning really. We've got a Ferrari quite near us, and the Mercedes not in the too distant, not too far in front, should I say. Braking into turn 1 now, using all the curbs, 6th gear, really committing it. And that was really good compared to the first lap. And we've pulled away a little bit from the car behind, so nailing the chicane now, so that was much better than the lap before. As coming in up to the first sector split, and we have gone 4 tenths quicker than Gasly, so much stronger than the first lap. Coming now into turn 6, I want to say, 6th gear through here. Coming into the chicane now, this double right-hander, and we go wide, so not ideal, but we get a decent exit, so it's looking like an alright lap so far. 8 times quicker than Gasly now ahead of us, so as we use all the exit and go off the track a bit, so not ideal. But coming into the penultimate corner now, 4th gear, early on the power. And what's his time going to be out the final corner? What's it going to be? Activating DRS, and we go P8. So considering all things considered, after that first run, it was looking really dire for us, but we pulled it back. It's a tough circuit in qualifying for the player, this, but I think in the race we'll be stronger. And we were only half a tenth off Alan Prost, so considering that's not too bad. I think maximum maybe a P2, a P3 if we'd really nail the lap, but it's just really hard to get the lap nailed around Imola, to be honest. And Max gets pole, and that's not great for the championship, because he's been doing well recently. As we move to quick practice now, so this is different from how it normally is. Normally I'll do quick practice, or I'll go out, I'll do a practice on the track just to get a feel for the setup, and then I'll do quick practice. But with the sprint weekends, you have one practice session, then qualifying, which in real life would be on the Saturday, and then you do practice 2 and 3, I think. Yeah, as we got all the points for that, and yeah, moving straight into the race now. Starting P8, and I think it's just going to be a simple no stop, really. On the out lap here now, getting some temperature into the tyres, and yeah, hopefully we can make some places here. If we can start in the top 5 hopefully, that will put us in a good place for the race, hopefully. But yeah, looking forward to it. Imola's normally a track I go pretty well around. On last year's game I went pretty well around Imola. Here we go then, for the Imola Grand Prix. Getting a nice purple score lining up on the grid, so as we move to 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Here we are for the sprint race at Imola. 5 red lights, and away we go, and not a great start really from us. Struggling a bit on the grid as Norris jumps us, so we really need to try and get back past him, as we do all over the curb. And we need to look to make some places here, because I reckon it'll be difficult come later in the race with DRS trains and stuff. So as we try and have a look on science around the outside, which sort of works, but we just don't get the traction load. And can we put him offline here into this next corner, as he goes quite defensive now, and he goes deep and he brakes suddenly, and we have to brake to avoid getting any damage, and we maintain P8. So it's been an okay start. I think the AI are really strong off the start, so to even maintain your position is pretty good. So yeah, we'll take it. Going through the chicane now, and if we can stick in the DRS of Science, he'll hopefully drag us along to the front 6, and yeah, hopefully we can look to get some good points in the sprint, as our teammate is up to P6, so a good start from him. On to lap 3 now, and we've sort of broken away from the team McLaren's behind, but actually Daniel Ricciardo has broken away from the pack quite a lot, as there's a safety car now, and as we check the replay now, as it says Mick Schumacher is out, and Williams has lost its wheel, so I don't know what's happened there, but I didn't quite catch the replay. I think I was too late, but I presume Williams hit a car in front of it and lost its wheel, and that's just led to all these other cars stopping. So yeah, safety car, it's good for us, I'd say, because it was looking like we were kind of only going to stay in P8, to be honest. We couldn't really get past Science, so yeah. As there we see Max Verstappen is the current Drivers' Championship leader, so if we can try and take some points off him today or this weekend, that will really help our challenge in the championship, because the car isn't quite quick enough. I'd say we're on par with Mercedes, but we're not quite there as a package. So if we can look to take points of Max and others early in the season, when the car isn't as good, I think that will really benefit us later on when we can develop. And skipping on to lap 6 now, and the safety car was out for quite a long time, so it's not ideal for us in terms of making positions, but we look to get past Science here on the restart. The AI tends to not be as good on the restart, and we judge it perfectly and drain our ERS, and we are side by side with Science now. And if we can get past him, that will really, really help our race, as he is rapid on the straights, but we're going to send it down the inside of turn 1, all over the curb, all over the yellow curb and into P7. So it's a good move from us, and hopefully we can look to get into Prost DRS as we go wide and we go on the gravel a little bit, and Science comes back at us and we squeeze and we have side to side contact. So a bit scary there, but yeah, hold P7. And yeah, sorry for yawning. On to lap 10 now, and not a lot happened really. We did manage to get past Hamilton actually, which is good. And we're sort of sticking with Frost here. But coming into the chicane now, there's yellow flags, and who is that around? It's Max Verstappen, and he has crashed, and I don't know what has happened there, but we are up to P2, and at this point, this is looking really good for us. After a really kind of quiet race, it's all unravelled here. As you can see, he's just backwards. Unfortunately, I couldn't catch the replay in time. I didn't think it was anything major, but obviously he hit the curb and spun. The AI can do that, but that is huge, and he has held up 4 cars, I think. Unfortunately, including our teammate Alain Prost, but you know, it is what it is. But into P2, and that is really going to help our chances now, and the clerk has just pulled a massive 7-second gap from all of that. And yeah, at this point it is looking really strong for us going into tomorrow, and as Alain Prost is out, and that is not good. That is not good at all. So as much as it benefited us, and Alain's really not benefited from that. But yeah, it is looking like Max Verstappen is not going to get any points this weekend, so that is, or in the sprint even. So we really need to capitalise on this weekend in terms of results in the race. As we're still under threat from Hamilton here, he is a second behind us, and Norris is quite close to Hamilton behind, so it's still not over really for P2, as we miss the chicane and go nearly off, and at this point it could be, we might even lose P2 here, and if we can stop P2, we can maybe even challenge a clerk in the race tomorrow. Let's go in defensive. Yellow flag there for our teammate, and I presume he got damage from that incident, but yeah. And Hamilton is all over the back of us, and he looks to go round the outside, and we cover it just about, as we lose the back end and we get a bit of a gap now. And yeah, we nearly lost P2 there, and that wouldn't have been great for our chances. But yeah, coming into the penultimate corner, the final corner now, and what a sprint race. We've gone from P8 to P2, and sprint races on this game have been kind to me, honestly, in other series as well. So what a race, and from looking like we were going to get an average P6 to getting P2 and 7 points, and that's huge for the championship. I think that ties up at the front with Leclerc and Verstappen, and we gain a huge amount. So yeah, really positive. Sprint race and chaos has really benefited us, as moving up nearly to tier 20, so we can look to make some, or unlock some more stuff. As you're looking at the results now, and Charles Leclerc wins the sprint race, we're in P2, Norris P3, and yeah, skipping straight onto the race now, and we have got a really solid chance here of potentially even winning, after looking like we were going to have quite an average weekend, and this order has been completely shaped up. Now with all the big names, apart from Leclerc and myself and Hamilton, or even apart from myself and Leclerc, right at the back. So we really need to capitalise on this race. We need to get big points. Like I was saying early on, we need to really get the big points in before the car's good really, and then we can really mount a challenge. As lowering the fuel now, leaving a bit in off, especially after Australia and Jeddah, the fuel situation was not good there, so we need to make sure we don't run out of fuel. As big Lewis went off the line there, and yeah, coming up to the grid now, weaving our tyres, getting the last bit of grip we can in, and yeah, hopefully we can look to get a really good start here. Dodging it pretty well, and we've got a nice angle past the kink. I guess you call it turn 1. I mean, I don't know if it is really turn 1, but just waiting for the rest of the grid to form up now, and here we are. To 4 red lights, 3 red lights, 2 red lights, 1 red light. Here we go now for the Imola Grand Prix. 5 red lights and away we go, and we get a decent start now, and we make sure to slot in behind Leclerc. I mean, yeah, considering we get a decent start, and we hold P2. As behind us, looking behind us, it is 3 wide, and as we look behind us, we've got an absolutely massive gap. As I think Alonso sent it on Norris and Ocon, and maybe even like Gasly or something, so crazy. And yeah, we are keeping nicely with Leclerc here, and yeah, the plan really is to try and pull away from Leclerc if we can. It'll be difficult, but I think if we can do that, and same with the RS or that Ferrari, which is a bit quicker than us, higher in the performance table, but if we can stay with them, hopefully we can look to maybe challenge for a win. As pulling away from Alonso now, the gap at 1.5. As mounting the chicane, we take a good line through that, and I'm surprised that wasn't a warning really. It should have been. Like in qualifying, we extended quite a lot, but somehow not a warning, so I'm surprised. Using all the curb on the exit, and the gap's at 8 tenths, so far good lap 1. We do a purple final sector, so the plan really is to save Leclerc if we can. As moving on to lap 6, and unfortunately we have not kept with Leclerc, and I was sort of noticing he was a good bit quicker each lap, about half a second quicker, if not more. And actually, we're getting caught by Alonso here. He's looking really, really rapid, and I didn't expect the Alpines to be anywhere near us really today, but I'll say in hindsight, after watching this race back, I think, or after doing the race even, I think I did put the AI too high. I put it on 107, which realistically is too high given the number of patches that made the AI better. As we really should be keeping up with the Ferrari, or at least keeping in with the RS, because our car is pretty similar, and Alpine shouldn't really be keeping up with us. As we make a big mistake there. I know I'm making mistakes, but yeah. As moving on to lap 10 now, and we decide to let Alonso by, because the gap to Leclerc was only 5 seconds, and at this point, like, Alonso's looking like he might even be able to drag us along to Leclerc. And if we can stay in the DRS of Alonso, not only can we save fuel, but we can also save ERS and our tyres. So at this point, I was just sat on P2. We've got a nice cushion to Norris and P4, so no real threat from him behind. And yeah, it was tough. It's tough staying with Alonso at the moment. He is very fast in Alpine. As our tyres are, I've got the MFD pretty small. I think they're like 21%. As we take all the curb there and nearly spin it actually, so struggling at the moment, not looking great for us, but we gain a decent chunk through the chicane, and the plan needs to be really to stay with Alonso and him to drag us along away from Norris and Ocon, because I think they'll fight. I think Ocon does have the DRS of Norris, so it's looking like they'll fight quite a lot. As pit window's open now, and which means that we are going to come in at the end of this lap, so braking into the first chicane now, taking all the curb. As we nearly lose the car and we get a big snap of oversteer, so we really need to come in soon, to be honest. taking the chicane nicely and onto lap 15 now, and we decide to stay out an extra lap as Alonso pits, and hopefully we can look to make a bit of an overcut here, as skipping on to the end of lap 15 now, coming into the pit lane, and we need a good turn in here if we want to stay ahead of Alonso, getting it nicely. What's the time going to be? 2.3 seconds, so very, very solid pit stop from the boys. Very, very solid. As we drive down this pit lane is very long. I think it's like 30 seconds or something, so very, very long pit lane. As coming out onto the track, and Alonso has pulled a huge gap on us, and the overcut really has not worked. It really has not worked, and you can see my frustration there. I was not happy at all. From looking like we could get a pretty solid P2. It's going to be a fight to even get a podium now, as we've got to get temperature in our tyres, and the gap to Norris is coming down, and on lap 23 it was 1.6 seconds, so not great. It hasn't been a great race in terms of pace, but it's helped that the front runners have been stuck in the back of the pack. I was looking at the race director throughout the race, and they just weren't gaining. They were kind of sat in like a DRS train. And yeah, not really a lot happened after that, to be honest. Quite an uneventful race. We did have a bit of a fight with Norris, and Alonso did actually make a big mistake, which put us in with a chance of P2 again, but he quickly sort of pulled away. We kind of ran out of ERS, trying to catch him after the pit stop. But yeah, Leclerc wins, and that is definitely redemption for him after he's had 2 DNFs in the first 3 races, so a good way for him to come back, winning the sprint and the feature race. So yeah, really good result for Leclerc, and that makes the championship really interesting now, with Verstappen scoring very little. I believe it is going to be very close moving into Miami, as we get our second podium of the year. So it's been good for us. I think we made the most of what we could today. I think the AI were set a bit too high, but equally we just kind of didn't really have the pace. But yeah, I'll take a P3. I think we've been pretty consistent this year. We've scored in literally every race. Our worst race being, I think, Australia, or it might have been Bahrain with a P10. But yeah, good race from us, and yeah, looking on to the next race in Miami, which isn't really a great track for the AI, as looking at the results there, and Leclerc with 34 points. That is a very, very good score for him, and I think it helps that he won both the sprint and the actual race in terms of his fight with Verstappen.
Take the lead at the top of the table.
As we had a bit of an issue saving the highlights reel. And yeah, Leclerc not only gets he gets maximum points from the sprint race and the main race and fastest lap, so a clean sweep for Leclerc at Imola. He'll be very happy. The Ferrari home race getting a clean sweep. As our teammate picks up 2 points, and Max did not score, and neither did Checo, so that opens up the championship really, really wide, as the gap at the top is down to 3 points now, as Ferrari take the lead in the constructors. So a big race weekend in terms of changing the positions in the championship. As back to HQ now, waiting for ever, it seems, on this black waiting screen. But yeah, I think a decent race from us. Struggled a bit for pace, but I think it was the best we really could have hoped for. As back in HQ now, and we've got quite a few upgrades for Miami. I think a major engine, major chassis even. I think a major chassis. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it was a bit long since last time uploading, and yeah, peace.